Okay, so for those of you who are looking for an unsecured $5,000 credit card, then listen up. I have one particular second chance bank. For those of you that have had credit problems in the past, maybe you still have shaky credit and you're trying to rebuild your personal credit. So in this video, I'm going to share with you what this one bank is, how to qualify for up to $5,000 in unsecured credit, and exactly how you can take a soft pull so that you can dip your toe in the water to see if you qualify before you actually can get approved for this credit card. So I have a lot to cover in a very, very short period of time. So let's get into it. Okay, so first and foremost, I don't know what your mid-FICO score is, but I'm assuming that you probably do, or at least have some idea of what your mid-FICO is, because most of you are working on your personal credit. And so if you have a really low FICO score, I'm going to tell you right now that you're going to have to do a secured credit card with this particular bank, because you're not going to be able to qualify for an unsecured credit card. So what is a low credit score? We're talking like 300s, 400s. You're probably going to want to do, like, say, a $250 to $500 secured credit card. And that isn't just for this one particular bank. It could be for any bank out there that can offer a secured credit card program. So I don't know that I would particularly choose this bank for a secured credit card, but if you do have a really low FICO score, it's not going to work. You're not going to be able to get an unsecured credit card. But say, for example, you have a FICO score in the 500s. And even better in the 600s, but you're not quite high enough to be able to qualify for a regular bank's unsecured credit card. Like what I call a regular bank is like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, even American Express. And you're just not quite high enough. Maybe you're at, say, somewhere between 600 and 640. Maybe you're even a little lower than 600, in which case you can qualify for up to $5,000 in unsecured credit with this one particular bank. But I'm going to lay some ground rules first, because some of you just want to jump right in and start, applying, and then all of a sudden you get declined because you didn't follow some of the rules. So before you actually apply for any credit card, I don't care if it's with this bank or any other bank, I'd like you to take a look at your hard inquiries, because a lot of times when banks are turning people down, they will turn people down with even a higher FICO score, even a 700 plus FICO score, if you have a ton of hard inquiries in the last 6 months. Okay, so they mainly look at the last 6 months. Some of the more strict banks will look at the last 12 months. But if you have a lot of hard inquiries, say 6 to 8 within the last 6 months, even if you have a decent mid-FICO score, you're probably going to get declined for pretty much any unsecured credit card. So if you could take a look at your 3 credit reports, you can either go online. I don't particularly like Credit Karma or other freebie types of services out there, because sometimes their information is incorrect, or their FICO score system isn't quite caught up with the regular FICO score system, or they kind of have a blend of the regular FICO score system and the Vantage score system, so you really don't know what the hell your credit score is. And so I don't particularly like the Credit Karma and other freebie services. I like the tried, true blue, tested and proven Experian, pulling all 3 credit reports and all 3 FICO scores from Experian.com, paying the one-time fee of $39.99. And then that way you know what all of your current FICO scores are between Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You'll also know what all of your credit profile information looks like, including your hard inquiries, okay? Because that's the section that you do need to target. And a lot of people don't think that they can actually challenge or dispute hard inquiries, and you can, okay? And so I first and foremost recommend that you challenge these hard inquiries first. You send a physical letter to Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. You cite the fact that they did not have, they meaning these companies that have hard inquiry pulls on your personal credit, they did not have something called permissible purpose, which is a federal statute, and that you demand that they remove these hard inquiries off of your personal credit immediately. Now, sometimes they'll do it, sometimes they won't. It depends on how strong and legally threatening your letter is. You can go to my free website, getdisputeletters.com, or my alternative website, secretcreditletters.com, which is down below this video in the description box. And you can get the letter that you need to challenge and dispute those hard inquiries. You need to get those hard inquiries down, because everybody always gets so excited when I do these videos talking about an unsecured credit card program that second chance individuals could qualify for. But unfortunately, they run right out into the website and then they get declined because they have, 15 inquiries in the last 6 months. It's like, come on. It shows and reeks of desperation when you have that many inquiries. And so you need to have them removed, or at least the vast majority of them removed, because you don't really want to have more than 6. And even 6 is a lot. Some of the more strict banks like to see anywhere from 2 to 4 in the last 6 months. And that's hard inquiries. Soft inquiries do not count. Those are pre-screened offers. So they don't count, but only hard inquiries count against not only your FICO score, but also the algorithm that gives you the opportunity and the chances of actually qualifying for any credit card, let alone this particular unsecured credit card program for second chance individuals. So now that we kind of have an idea of what we need to do moving forward to not only qualify for this particular credit card, but any credit card moving forward, you have to challenge those hard inquiries. And again, you're citing lack of permissible purpose. You file the inquiry or the disputes against the hard inquiries for Experian, Equifax, TransUnion to send a trackable mail. And then they should update and take off the hard inquiries. Now, they're not going to take them all off, so don't expect some miracle or the seas to be parting for you. But again, you need to get it under that 6 hard inquiry level in the last 6 months. And ideally, if you can get a 2 to 4, that's even better. So what happens if they send a letter back to you saying, basically, screw you, we're not going to take the inquiries off? Then you actually have to communicate with and contact the people, the companies who actually pulled your credit directly. And you send them the same permissible purpose, very, very hard legal letter, basically threatening to sue them if they don't remove it, because you don't recognize them at all. You don't believe that you actually did a hard inquiry with their company. They need to remove it. Most of the time, the direct creditors will remove it because they don't want to have any legal troubles with you. They don't have an account with you. They don't really care about you, and they don't want to deal with any potential court issues in the future. So many times, the creditors who actually pulled your did a hard inquiry and pulled your credit will many times upon request remove it for you. And so again, you need to get it down 6. I like to see 2 to 4 in the last 6 months as far as hard inquiries. Now that you have the hard inquiry amount, you can now go forth and get the second chance credit card. And if you have around a 640 FICO score, you can qualify for upwards of $5,000 in unsecured credit. It is considered a second chance credit card, and it's through Credit One Bank. So the cool thing about Credit One is that they will initially do a soft pull, meaning that when you start the application process, it will be a soft pull to let you know whether or not you qualify. And then when they let you know whether you qualify or not, you can determine whether or not you want to submit an official application, which will then in turn into a hard credit pull. Okay. So a lot of people confuse the soft pulls with the hard pulls because they think, oh, Monica, you lied to me. You said that it's a soft pull. Well, really what it is initially it's a soft pull. And then when you decide, okay, I'm going to go forth with this official application after they've given you some information on whether you qualify, you go forth with the official application, and then it becomes a hard pull. So yes, it does eventually become a hard pull when you give them the okay that you want to continue moving forward in the application process. So again, if you're at around a 640, you can qualify for up to $5,000. If you are not quite there at the 640, say you're in the 500s, then I hate to tell you this, but you're probably going to qualify for anywhere from $300 to $2,500 in unsecured credit, but it's still a really good second chance credit card. Listen, if you screwed up your credit, I understand things happen. I'm not here to judge you at all. I don't know. I mean, I've been through BS and back and through hell many times over when it came to my personal life, when it came to divorce, when it came to all kinds of different, business issues, problems. So I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge you at all. And I strike down anybody else who wants to sit here and watch these videos and then put a bunch of, sapsucky comments down below saying, oh, deadbeats, when did you pay your bills? I see a lot of those types of comments. Listen up. If you're one of these people that doesn't have that much to do where you're watching credit videos just for the opportunity to berate people who have not had the opportunity to be able to stay on target with their credit goals, well, shame on you, because you don't know what could have happened in their life. Like a lot of times people have lost their jobs and they were unable to find another one right away. And so some of their bills got in arrears, or maybe they had a medical emergency. They were in a coma for 3 months and then they woke up and not only were they in arrears for all of their bills and getting evicted, but maybe they had, $100,000+ in medical bills too. Probably a lot more than that if you're in a coma for 3 months. But you never know what can happen to you, okay? So I always reserve, I just don't understand why people have the audacity and the right to make comments like that when it comes to, other people's situations, because you just never know what can happen in your own personal life. So if you're one of these people that slipped behind in credit, I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to help you, okay? And so the reason I say that is because I want you to know that this is always a safe place for you to be. I'm here to always help and guide you using my vast experience when it comes to not only personal credit, but also business credit as well, which is the place you're ultimately going to want to get to. So when I tell you all of this stuff, it's in your best interest, but it's also based on my experience. And so with regard to Credit One, you should get this as a second chance credit card or another equivalent second chance credit card. There's several out there. They're, believe it or not, Capital One's actually considered a second chance credit card, even though I don't particularly care for their company for a variety of reasons that I'm not going to get into here. But there's others too, like Indigo, Destiny, Pedal One, and Pedal Two as well. There's just so many different, options out there for a second chance. Milestone. So you don't have to choose Credit One. It's just that Credit One offers you the highest dollar amount in unsecured credit for people with credit problems. And you do need to get yourself a second chance credit card, at least one. And I strongly urge you to stay at only one when you're in the process of rebuilding your personal credit. So I'm assuming most of you are challenging your closed negative accounts on your personal credit reports, but at the same time as challenging those accounts and removing those accounts ideally, you need to at the same time be rebuilding your personal credit. And that's the part that a lot of people forget. They're just like, they're so in it to win it when it comes to challenging all of these negatives on their credit. Stuff starts to fall off and then they realize, oh shoot, I don't even have anything on my credit at all. And it looks like now I have a very thin personal credit profile. And then lenders don't want to lend to you then because it looks like you have no credit at all. So at the same time as you working on your personal credit and getting rid of all these negative accounts on your credit reports, you should also be rebuilding as well. And I suggest you pick one and only one second chance credit card. And Credit One is the one that can offer you the most in unsecured credit right off the bat, even still dealing with personal credit challenges right now. So if you're not sure if you qualify, you're just like, Monica, I'm at a 600 FICO, would I even be able to get anything? Well, go to the Credit One website and apply and see if you can get the pre-qualification soft pull first. And if you think that you're going to qualify, or if they let you know that you are likely to be a good candidate for them to lend, give you an unsecured credit card, then you can go with the hard pull and actually officially submit your application in. And so you never know until you try, okay? But I warn you in advance. People always berate me in the comments. They're like, well, Monica, I tried it and, it didn't work. It's like, but they didn't tell you, or the rest of us, that they've tried to apply for 15 other credit card accounts in the last 3 weeks, and then they have all these hard inquiries. And of course, no bank in history is going to give somebody who's reeking of desperation a credit card. I mean, if you were a bank and you had specific algorithms set up, I can guarantee you that one of those algorithms is that, do not lend any money to anyone that looks like they're desperate, okay? That's going to be one of your algorithms, all right? It's going to be in some kind of code, of course, but that's you have to protect yourself, especially in today's day and age when the economy is pretty much going to hell in a handbasket. You have to protect yourself as a bank or a lender, which means if you as a consumer are, racking up those hard inquiries, that's going to make it look like you're desperate, which means that they're not going to lend you any money, okay? So get rid of those hard inquiries. You're going to want to get rid of them anyway, regardless of whether you're applying for this credit card or not. And then you're going to proceed in getting this credit card or another second chance credit card. It does not have to necessarily be Credit One. It could be one of the many others that I had mentioned, all right? But you do need to at least get one second chance credit card to start rebuilding your credit. Because if you don't, then you're not going to be able to access the benefits eventually of getting unsecured business credit. And that's where the rubber meets the road. And in the weeks to come, I'm going to share with you more and more details about how to access tens of thousands of dollars in unsecured business credit. So then that way you could start to build a business, maybe buy a business, invest in real estate, or invest in whatever else you want that's some kind of cash flowing asset, so that you can start building wealth using OPM or other people's money. In fact, I actually talk about it In my free download book, it's called Credit Millionaire. I'm going to be taking it down very, very soon. So you can qualify to get this for free by going into my community at school.com/Monica Main. And again, I'm going to be removing this pretty soon. So if you did not get my Credit Millionaire book, you might find yourself, up a creek without a paddle if you didn't get it now, okay? So I'm going to be taking it down in the next couple weeks. So again, go to school.com/Monica Main, go up into the classroom tab, and then look for my Credit Millionaire download book. And in this book, I not only share with you unorthodox secrets about fixing and rebuilding your credit, your personal credit, but I also share with you how to access other people's money through unsecured business credit as well. And that's where the real magic of wealth building begins, all right? So you want to join the community, you'll be with about 9,000 other like-minded individuals just like yourself. So I'm really excited for you to join that. Also, I now have a new credit flowchart. It's the first iteration of it. I'm still working on it. It's a work in progress. But for those of you that need help knowing what the exact steps are in order on fixing and rebuilding your personal credit, you'll definitely want to get the credit flowchart. And again, you can get it from school.com/Monica Main. If you want my free credit letters, you have to go to either getdisputeletters.com or secretcreditletters.com. That's all down below in the description box to be able to start to dispute all this stuff and to make some real progress when it comes to fixing and rebuilding your personal credit. So this is Monica Main signing off, and I will see you in the next video.